Okay, hello everyone. It's Larry Gordon, and this is a new podcast, a production of the Five Towns Jewish Times, an idea we've been tooling with for a while. It's called Father-Daughter. The other person on the other side of the microphone is my daughter, Malkie Gordon Hirsch.
Hello.
And she's a columnist of renown in the Five Towns Jewish Times over the last year or so. And we thought, we'd been discussing this for a long time, we thought that having a unscripted, unprepared, completely spontaneous conversation between a father and a daughter on any range of subjects could be something that could be captivating and intriguing for people who are in these types of relationships, parental-child relationships, as well as the profession and life in general. So let me just say by way of introduction, Malkie, first of all, thanks for agreeing to do this.
Thank you for having me.
And we don't know how it's going to go, so
Absolutely
we'll see.
not.
Hopefully it's going to be a regular weekly type of conversation on any number of subjects. But we're not going to really talk about it off mic or at home or when you're in my house or I'm in your house,
Right.
because it has to be completely spontaneous. I remember, I'll tell you the truth, about 40 years ago when I was on the radio. I was like 22 years old, 23 years old. I was on the radio. I hosted a regular morning radio program here in New York on WFMU, and my father was my biggest critic at the time, and he would and he would say to me, you know, you have to prepare what you're going to say, and I said, no, Dad, whatever it has to be spontaneous.
I agree. Off the cuff is so much better.
I said I have to go with the flow and
Yeah.
say what I want to say depending on the circumstances. And you know what he said to me at the time? He said, I want you to know something. So I want you to know the greatest ad libs are prepared. That's what he said at the time. So that always stuck with me. I don't think I agree with that necessarily because it's good advice, but it's a contradiction in terms.
I definitely don't agree with it.
It's a contradiction in terms
Right.
because if it's ad libbed, if it's a spontaneous reaction to a situation, then it can't be prepared. But
Right.
it could be that there are a lot of things that are presented out there as being spontaneous or a reflex reaction to something, but they really are prepared. That would be a Hollywood production of some sort. So let me introduce you for our viewers and our listeners that don't know. You write a column in the newspaper every week. On any number of subjects, usually dealing with the fact that you're a single mother,
Yes.
having lost your husband, who we all love very dearly, almost 16 months ago, about 16 months ago. You have 5 beautiful children who are extraordinary, each in their own right. You have a very popular Instagram presence.
I do.
Kiss the Kosher Cook, which is wildly, it's a rave around the world.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
so, I mean, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with Kiss the Kosher Cook?
I guess so. I guess that's where it started.
So
started
to
from
me,
there.
you know, I watch Kiss the Kosher Cook intermittently. I forget sometimes for days.
You forget because you follow all.
No, the only one on my phone.
You have like 2
is-
accounts that you follow.
Me
and somebody
only
else?
one. I don't even know how to get
Only
on the other one.
So I'm not really sure how you miss any of the stories that I post.
I see most of the stories, but some days I just forget.
Okay.
And then I have to catch up on a bunch of days. But
We got to expand your horizons. We got to put some other accounts on your on your phone.
I'm afraid if I go on another account, it's going to erase the one before it, and I'm not going to be able to get back on it. So,
Okay.
you know, I was downloading something and it said press here on my phone.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought I have to press on the thing that says press here.
Right.
It took me a few days to figure out I got to hit the button on the side of the
side.
phone. So you have to
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to be patient. So where do you want to start?
Okay,
What's up?
so I would say probably around 7-8 years ago, I started a Facebook group called Kiss the Kosher Cook.
Okay.
The name came about because I had a little bit of an identity crisis when I stopped working in the city and I started raising my family. And I guess I wanted to channel my energy, my creative outlet, if you will, into something that I was doing very often, which was spending a lot of quality time in the kitchen.
Okay.
Cooking and baking became my passion. and I started sharing it on a page. And it was just a really fun, unique way to have a relationship with people that some I knew and some I didn't know. And if I'd go into a local grocery store in the neighborhood, people would say, "What's for dinner tonight?" You know, and it was a really fun, interactive way to make cooking dinner and preparing for your family a little bit more fun.
Well, you know, on that subject, you know, when I'm not on a diet,
Yeah.
I usually start diets.
You love coming to my house.
I start diets 2-3 times a week sometimes.
Yeah, usually.
It's like
Prompted by Esther.
It's like what Mark Twain said about.
She's the wife.
It's like what Mark Twain said about smoking. He says, "Quitting smoking is the easiest thing in the world. I've done it 1,000 times."
Exactly.
So you know, when I don't want to gain,
I think my eyes are going to get stuck in the back of my head one day when Ema comes into the room and says, "We started a new diet." I'm going to be like, "Okay, good luck losing the 5 pounds you have to lose."
No,
good
listen,
luck. It's going to be a long road, but I know it's going to be worth it.
It's very, you know, listen, we could talk about dieting. It's a different subject.
Oh, yeah,
it's
for
very,
sure.
It's a sense of accomplishment to losing some weight because,
Absolutely.
Not because you're a little thinner. People don't even notice. It's because I get a whole new wardrobe every time I lose 5 pounds.
By the way, very
There's
true.
stuff, I have closets full of stuff that don't fit. And if I lose 7 pounds, stuff
New size.
fits.
New size.
I got such a choice of shirts to wear and pants to wear without the buttons popping. It's a fantastic experience. But if we don't want to go out to eat and we just happen to be out, then there's always something to eat in your house. Usually it's fattening though, because you're begging it for the kids.
Yeah, usually.
And those kids like fattening things.
This is true.
So there's a lot of pizza there most of the time.
Yes.
There's always, let's see, there's pizza. There's what else is there?
Pasta, cake, cookies.
Pasta, cake, everything fried.
Literally. No, I mean, I only fry
chicken.
Schnitzel.
The chicken. What's that called?
I schnitzel. My kids.
Schnitzel.
If I baked schnitzel, there would be a riot.
Oh, Malkie makes this amazing Russian. I don't know what it's called.
What is it?
That thing with the dough thing.
Oh, it's called khachapuri.
Khachapuri.
It's like a calzone.
I haven't eaten that.
Oh, don't even start eating that if you want to diet. No,
I don't go for the heavy cheese thing.
Oh,
you know. So
sorry to hear that.
But I like the pizza's great. It looks great, and I see it online, and that's enough for me.
Right.
I don't have to actually come there and eat it.
So that's really where it started. It stemmed from me having this Facebook group that became an Instagram page, and I had these 2 different, social media platforms where I would share my recipes. I would be a little bit of a personality, but really not much before she died. It was more about the food and about family life.
So, who do you think is your favorite? What do you think is your favorite thing to cook or bake? I mean, I've seen the cakes.
My name is today is synonymous with those cookie cakes that I can't get away. I mean,
the number cakes.
Yeah,
the number cakes.
The cookie cakes, letters, numbers. They're a weekly fixture in my home, and I started doing it around 2.5 years ago.
So people order them for their birthdays, for their anniversaries.
Sometimes they'll order an initial for a kid.
An initial?
Or a heart
so
for an engagement party.
You do letters and numbers.
Yeah, I do letters, numbers. I do some stars, some hearts.
And for engagement party, you can do the bride, the boy and the girl's initials.
Yeah. And a plus in the middle. It's cute.
With a plus. Yeah. And how long does it take to make those things? They look complicated.
Take hours.
They look giant, first of all.
They are giant. They are complicated to make. It's a tedious job. It doesn't take, it's not one shot where I can just bang the whole thing out. It takes time. So
you're saying not everybody can do that?
I don't think everybody can do that.
So
they could do it. They don't do it well. But they could do it.
Do people, is it something that's for sale at other places? Did
yes.
you see the idea someplace else?
You know what? When I started doing it, nobody did it. Not to say that, because it actually originated from a pastry chef in Israel. But after I started doing it, they started popping up everywhere. Bakeries.
It started in Israel, you said?
Yes.
A pastry chef in Israel started.
Her name is Adi Kadosh, yeah. She started it. Mm-hmm.
What, numbers? Or
it was
Hebrew
her idea.
letters?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I decided, somebody actually asked me to try it. She asked me to try it with the number 2 because it was her second anniversary of her husband quitting smoking. And she said, listen, I know you haven't done this, but I've seen these all the rage in Israel, and I would love to see if maybe you can do it for me. And I said to her, I could try, but I've never done this before.
So how do you make the numbers or the letters straight so they don't?
I have a stencil.
No, because if you write it on a piece of paper, a number.
Can't do it freehand. I can't do it freehand. No, there's stencils. Actually, Ema got got them from AliExpress.
So it's like a cookie cutter type of
Exactly.
production.
It's a piece
So
of plastic.
maybe someone could make like large cookie cutters, and actually people could.
People do that. They sell those too. But the method that I have, what I do is just like, for me, it's the most foolproof way. I enjoy it.
Okay, that's very interesting. Let's change the subject for
Yeah.
a second. Let's talk about President Trump.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know politics.
Well, listen, this podcast will find out
Trump
everything we know
2020.
and everything that we don't know. I mean, you're going to vote November 3rd. What's your? I know you don't watch the news a lot.
What's my position?
What's your impression of President Trump?
I think that he is very good for the Jewish people.
Okay.
I think that he has I don't know. I feel like his political agenda is so different than any other politician out there. I have this feeling that he doesn't really care, and I love that.
You're right. That's what's unique about him, and
Right.
and you're right that what's special and what draws people to him,
Yeah.
I think, is the fact that he's not a politician.
Exactly.
And more than that,
his demeanor to me says, do you think I care about being the president of the United States? I could do other things.
And that's what other career politicians like Joe
Exactly.
Biden, they resent that about
Exactly.
him. Charles
Exactly.
Schumer, our senator from New York,
Yes,
Nancy
yes.
Pelosi,
Right.
Joe Biden, who's running for president as a Democrat. They resent the fact that this man is having this kind of success and that he has never hadn't held an elective office before.
Yeah, I mean, he had a show.
Usually,
He was on TV.
Usually, a person that wins an elective office is he was president when he was in high school of his class, and then he became an assemblyman, then he became a congressman, then he
Right.
became a senator, and he worked his way up
Yeah.
to become president of the United States. Not this guy.
This is just a
but-
fast track to presidency. He didn't
but
have
he's
to do any of that.
But he's so vilified by
Oh, my
by
God.
people.
Is he ever?
So, what are you writing about this week? In this week's
I was waiting for that WhatsApp, and I didn't get it yet. And I was wondering if
It
maybe
is Tuesday afternoon. I mean,
afternoon.
I know this is a timeless type of.
Do you know what's very funny?
broadcast,
It's very
but
funny
it
that
is-
it's
it is-
writing
we
things.
are talking on a Tuesday. We should say
of course.
August 11th, 2020, because this
Yes.
will be online for eternity. But you come up with very, very special ideas to write about.
Yeah.
And of course, I understand the pressure of having to come up with unique ideas every week
Yeah.
to offer up to people that are readers.
Right.
But I'm doing that for decades. But
You're doing it for decades because you're a writer.
Yes, but you're a writer too. So and
I never identified as a writer.
Okay, so you identified as a chef and a cook. Now you can identify as a cook, chef, writer.
Okay,
So,
fine.
So what do you
So
what do you have? What are you
this-
cooking up? What are you cooking
so
up this week?
This week we're discussing dialectical thinking.
Dialectical thinking.
Yeah, do you know what
Could
that
you, no, I don't. I actually don't.
So dialectical thinking is when you have completely opposing thoughts in your mind, and they both make sense, and you can feel both of them at the same time, but they're from two completely different
Areas
emotions.
of the brain.
Yeah, or emotion. You know.
Could you
and
give me an
the
example?
Exactly. That's what the article is about. I'm still working on it, so sorry.
What's a dialectical thought?
Dialectical thought is that, well, last week I was talking to my therapist, who is a
Okay.
very bright woman, and she
Okay.
told me what dialectical thinking means, and that's why I
Okay.
even had the idea to write about it. My dialectical thinking came about when I told her that Alana was getting engaged.
Okay.
And that
Alana is the young lady that lives in
my
your
house
for the last year or so.
yes, and that has helped me with my children in
Right.
every area of my life, and she's been a real bracha for
Well,
me.
no, but we decided a long time ago she's not really a Persian. She's an angel.
She's an angel. This is true.
So, but
She is an
let's
angel.
talk about
She
her.
is an angel.
We'll talk about her in human terms anyway.
So anyway, my thinking was that she was getting engaged, and I was having a lot of feelings of conflict because I was
Happy for her.
thrilled for her and
Yeah.
for Mayor, her intended.
Yes.
And at the same time, I was really nervous about what was going to be after she would get married and she would leave us. So that is what I was grappling with this week.
Okay. And have you drawn any conclusions?
No, I don't think I drew
So
conclusions.
you're talking
I just
about-
know that what I was feeling and how I was thinking is maybe more common than I thought.
Well, obviously, she was a godsend.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. I think you feel that way, and everyone that's gotten to know her feels that way.
Yeah.
The kids feel that way.
Yes.
you
It's
know?
also transitioning the kids to yet another normal. And it's going to be difficult because they went from losing their father very suddenly to gaining a family member that we never expected,
Right.
to losing a family member, or not losing her, but just having her in a different capacity in our life. And it's just it might make them more resilient and even more well-rounded people in the future. But it's not going to be easy now.
So the kids are 13, 11,
9, 6, and almost 3.
And almost 3. So who's the most difficult on? The youngest or the probably the youngest?
I think the 3 youngest ones are very attached to her. Devin and Nissen really do love her, and they rely on her in a lot of ways.
Right.
But it's not the same immediate physical need that Alana provides for the little ones, like bathing and story time and different things that she's incorporated in our household to just make it easier for me to live every day.
We could do a whole segment on Alana.
We could do more than a segment on Alana.
We could do a whole series, of shows. I mean, she like I said a moment ago, she's a godsend, and that's the way of the world.
And Ima knows that when she's gone, she's going to have to move into my house.
Yes.
And help with the kids.
No,
she has a terrified look on her face, guys, just so you know. She's terrified right now.
We were thinking maybe you were going to move out and she was going to move in with the kids.
Well, that was my first thought.
My mother just said to Alana, just make sure Rosie is toilet trained. That's it. That's all I need from you.
Well, how's that
Alana's taking her role very seriously. She's doing really well. She's doing really well. Yeah, she's doing really well.
It's sometimes we're in your house for Shabbos and you want to go to the bathroom and there's a whole contraption set up on the toilet that
you just lifted off, guys.
Has to be surgically removed.
Children. It's not
you gotta go find another.
Science,
go find another bathroom.
You've done this before. You did this in one bathroom. I have 4.
It's a long time. It's a long time. The statute of limitations expired on being able to do that type of thing. And these are nouveau type of contraptions that they use on toilets these days. You see, I told you we're going to talk about a lot of disparate and a variety of things. So what's for dinner tonight? What's Tuesday? We're talking on a Tuesday.
Yes, we're having lasagna.
Is that every Tuesday, lasagna?
I always have a pasta and a soup and a fish usually.
That's on Tuesday.
That's Tuesday. So I got baby flounder. I'm going to do lecho. I'm going to do sauteed peppers and onions on top. And then I'm going to make a ribollita, which is an Italian Tuscan bean soup. And lasagna.
Okay, you're also a spokesperson of sorts, we should say.
Yes.
Spokesperson for Gourmet Glatt, which is one of the most premier and extraordinary food emporiums in the United States of America, really cutting edge.
Not just the 5 towns.
Not just the 5 towns.
The U.S.
I mean, they are the baseline for supermarkets all over the world.
Yeah.
That's what they want to emulate, that style and that type of service that they provide to customers. I think they have 5 stores now.
I know Lakewood. I don't know.
I think they have 2 in Lakewood.
2 in Lakewood. That makes sense.
There's one in Brooklyn.
2 in here. Yeah.
2 here. So that's 5. I think it's 5 stores right now. So you are a spokesperson of sorts. They give you free reign. You do just about anything you want.
They let me do whatever I want, which is my favorite thing to do.
Right.
So it works out well for us.
When you go into the store, I mean...
well, it's hard now with masks, so I usually story in the parking lot before.
You can't talk with a mask on?
Nobody can see my mouth moving. It's hard.
I know. I watch the president's news conferences, and all the reporters keep their masks on. I mean,
right.
They don't have to. They're all socially distanced.
Do they have mics?
The rule on the masks is, and I've heard the health officials speak about it constantly, a mask is only necessary if you cannot socially distance.
I know.
But these people, they're making
it
a
goes
political
beyond,
statement.
Exactly. It's not about safety anymore. This is political.
It's like I always tell Ima, it's like wearing a yarmulke. Either you're wearing a yarmulke or you're not wearing a yarmulke.
Yeah.
If you're not wearing a yarmulke, you're making a statement of sorts. Okay, if you forgot it, you forgot it. But if you're in this neighborhood or in Brooklyn or in Queens or in Los Angeles or in Mexico City, wherever the from community is, and you're an observant Jew, a male, and you don't wear a yarmulke, you're making a statement about the nature or the level of your observance.
Of course.
I think.
Of course.
Okay, we could debate
honestly,
that and discuss
if I wouldn't be criticized or be told to put a mask on if I walked into a store, I wouldn't put a mask on. But there's signs.
I think that's the policy. That's the required by New York State, I think, and it's annoying. Hopefully, it's not going to be forever.
Right.
I think we're going to see drastic changes after the election because there is a lot of politics involved in this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the reporters at the news conferences with the president, the reporters all wear masks, and they're asking the president questions, and some of them are really garbled. And yesterday, at a news conference, he genuinely could not understand what one of the young ladies was saying. And he said to her, I can't understand you. So she removed the mask and she talked regular.
Right.
But
was everybody infected with corona after she did that?
no, they were socially distanced to begin with. They sit more than 6 feet apart from one another.
Right.
And they really don't have to be wearing a mask according to the regulations.
Right.
Again, the regulations are a mask if you cannot
So
socially
why does every
distance.
journalist on every news channel have a mask on?
Political statement. Why, if in New York, in Yankee Stadium or what's it called, Citi Field, where they could seat 50,000 people, why can't they have 10 or 20,000 people distance from one another?
Yeah.
Okay, I understand it'll be crowded getting in. I understand that's something that has to be worked on.
Right.
I'm not sure how they're going
Different
to do
times,
that. But I don't
different-
understand the extreme way of keeping the stadiums absolutely empty. It's not
so
necessary.
weird.
No
It's so
concerts.
strange.
You know, I understand
And those
that
cardboard people in the stands?
in the stands. It's pretty
That
ridiculous.
is really weird.
It's better off when they have like some of the stadiums have like electronic
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And they're actually making noise. They're actually cheering. I prefer that because it gives you a more of a normal type
Yeah,
of
for sure. It's
normal
very
type
strange.
of feeling.
Yeah.
So this is our first episode of Father-Daughter. It's unscripted, unprepared. I know people are going to say, I could tell it was unprepared. I could tell it was unscripted. That's
What's
what people
wrong
are
with
going to
that?
say. There's nothing wrong with it. But people are going to say that. You know why they're going to say that? Because I just said it. So they're going to just repeat it. And they're going to say it like they're saying it for the first time. Oh, it was
Okay.
unscripted, unprepared. Oh, it sounded like it.
Oh, nice. Thank you
that's
so
very
much.
Nice. You know, it's like people, like I told you the other day, people at the newspaper say, "Oh, I read your paper."
And you're
You know,
like, what?
Say,
You're
"Oh,
the one?
you're the one." Oh, man, I didn't know
You're
that.
the one that reads the
You're
paper.
guy. That's why we work so hard all the time for. Anyway, so just by way of introduction, this is
Yeah.
our first episode. We're not going to be discussing this afterwards. We're not going to critique ourselves. We're just going to do the next one as soon as time allows. So, but in the meantime, we really didn't get into anything personal.
No.
Anything nitty gritty, like, your upbringing or my upbringing.
I think because we just go up on tangents, it's very natural.
Okay,
we're both
so
big talkers.
we're going to gently be mindful in the future to
Absolutely.
go into
Yes.
our history.
Yes.
After all,
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
I was I think I was 20. I was 27 when you were born, right?
Okay.
So I was a kid. So those are great memories. I mean, we took you to Israel with us when you were 10 weeks old.
Right.
You know, my neck hurts me and my back hurts me now, but I carried you on my back all over Israel. I think we even stopped in
I
England,
probably weighed
right?
like 12 pounds though. So
We changed flights in England, and I paraded around with you on my back through the airport and through all of Israel.
it was the beauty of being an only child for 8 months.
All right, that's very special. All right, that's father-daughter, Larry Gordon, Malkie Gordon Hirsch here on Five Towns Jewish Times podcast, Kiss the Kosher Cook, Meaningful Minute Radio. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.